War is a tragedy. It leaves a trail of devastation, displacement, and death in its wake. Yet, for a select few, war is also an opportunity, a chance to reap immense profits from the suffering of others. This is the ugly face of war profiteering, a reality where financial elites benefit from armed conflict, their wealth growing as bombs fall and lives are shattered. Throughout history, wars have served as catalysts for economic booms for certain industries, from weapons manufacturers to private military contractors. Entire sectors of the economy are geared towards profiting from conflict. These industries, often with close ties to political power, lobby for war, fund pro-war candidates, and shape public opinion through media conglomerates. This essay will delve into the unsettling reality of how wars benefit the financial elite. We'll explore the industries that profit from conflict, the influence of these elites on political decisions, and the ways in which public opinion is manipulated to serve their interests. By understanding this interconnected web of power and profit, we can begin to challenge the systems that perpetuate war and strive for a more peaceful future. The defense industry is the most obvious beneficiary of war. As conflicts erupt, demand for weapons, ammunition, and military equipment skyrockets, lining the pockets of arms manufacturers and defense contractors. This industry thrives on a constant state of tension and insecurity, profiting not only from actual wars, but also from the fear of war. The military-industrial complex, a term coined by President Dwight D. Eisenhower, describes the symbiotic relationship between governments and defense contractors. This revolving door of influence sees former military officials and politicians taking up lucrative positions in the private sector, further blurring the lines between public service and private profit. These companies are not beholden to national interests, but to their shareholders. They often sell weapons to both sides of a conflict, showing a blatant disregard for the human cost of their trade. The pursuit of profit trumps any moral obligation, making them complicit in the bloodshed. This cycle of violence for profit is morally reprehensible and demands greater scrutiny and accountability. While the defense industry is the most visible beneficiary of war, it is not the only one. The healthcare industry also sees profits surge during and after conflicts. As soldiers return home wounded both physically and psychologically, they require extensive medical care, generating billions for private healthcare providers, pharmaceutical companies, and manufacturers of prosthetics. Furthermore, the logistics industry experiences a boom during wartime. Companies involved in transportation, construction, and telecommunications see their profits soar as they secure lucrative government contracts to move troops, build infrastructure, and provide essential services in conflict zones. These contracts often lack transparency and oversight, creating fertile ground for corruption and overcharging. The privatization of war, with the increasing reliance on private military contractors, PMCs, adds another layer to this web of profiteering. These companies provide a range of services, from security to logistics, often operating with little accountability and a history of human rights abuses. The lack of transparency and oversight in their operations makes it difficult to assess the true cost of their involvement in conflicts. Section 4. Black Gold and Bloodshed. The oil industry's stake in conflict. The oil industry has a long and bloody history, deeply intertwined with war and conflict. Securing access to oil reserves, often located in politically unstable regions, has been a driving force behind numerous military interventions. The thirst for this black gold has fueled proxy wars, toppled governments, and resulted in countless civilian casualties. Oil companies, with their vast wealth and influence, lobby governments, fund political campaigns, and shape public opinion through sophisticated PR campaigns. They often downplay the environmental consequences of their operations while exaggerating the need for energy independence, using national security concerns as a pretext for securing access to oil-rich regions. The true cost of our dependence on oil goes far beyond the price we pay at the pump. It is measured in the lives lost in oil-driven wars, the environmental devastation caused by extraction and spills, and the political instability that arises from our addiction to this finite resource. We must break free from this cycle of dependence and invest in renewable energy sources to create a more sustainable and peaceful future. In the world of business and politics, shaping public opinion is often synonymous with securing profit. Large corporations and political entities deploy a range of strategies to influence perceptions and maintain control over their narratives. From media campaigns to lobbying efforts, the goal is clear sway public opinion to favor policies and products that benefit the elite at the expense of the general populace. This manipulation not only distorts the truth but also undermines democracy by prioritizing profits over people's real needs and concerns. As we look towards a more peaceful future, it's imperative that we address the underlying causes of conflict and division in our societies. This means rethinking our economic structures, investing in education and healthcare, and fostering a culture of peace and cooperation. By prioritizing sustainable development and social equity, we can build a future where prosperity is shared and not hoarded by the few. The path is long and fraught with challenges, but with collective effort and a commitment to justice, a more peaceful world is within our reach.